Look forward to these every week in the AJC and on 11alive.com. And this week you're talking about e-bikes, and I think you're talking about the electric scooters too.
Yeah, and the electric scooters have been more on the scene. They've been on the scene and rising in popularity longer. So I honed in on e-bikes more, although it's really the same thing. So here's what we get. I've had multiple 11 Alive viewers and AJC readers, the columns of both places, reach out and say, you've got to do something about e-bikes. And I'm like, I don't even know how to ride a bike. What do you want me to do? No, I'm just kidding. But so I did a story back a couple months ago where we talked to John Devine from Go Georgia in Athens. We talked about in this room just kind of the different classifications of e-bikes and how they fit into the whole, commuting circus, if you will. What I honed in on in this column is basically the tension between you have these different speed type vehicles, but they can move as fast as an automobile, and they move way faster than regular bikes and pedestrians. And where do they fit into this whole thing? That's what it is. That's the tension, all right? And so with a bicycle, you think of, the first thing I think of is not, middle-aged men in tights riding around Atlanta. I think of if you're a kid and you're out and you have freedom and you go ride on your bike. It's not a toy, but it's like a toy. And that's why the headline of the column is, remember, e-bikes aren't toys. John Devine told me there are 3 different classes of e-bikes. Basically, there's class 1 and 2. One of them is throttle assist. I think that's class 2. And then there's pedal assist. So it just helps you to use the bike a little more. It helps you use the bike a little more. But class 3 actually boosts the throttle to where you could go legally anyway under class 3, 28 miles per hour. And what I learned from Devine and from others is that people actually, and I don't know how to, not getting a hack for me, but you can bypass that. And there are people that are going sometimes, from what I'm told, up to freeway speeds on these bikes.
What?
And they're doing it or so. And so think
40
about,
plus maybe.
So look, 28 miles per hour, the legal one is already speeding in a school zone. That could already hit and hurt somebody pretty badly or kill them. Well, think about a kid who's has a kid's frontal lobe.
Right.
Going out there, right? I mean,
hey, these things aren't developed till we're 25.
and they could bypass this, or someone else could bypass it, and it could go 40, 50 miles an hour. And downhill on a bicycle, you could do that, but now you can do this without even having to exert yourself. You just press the button.
You think about all the things that could go wrong. You just hit it like a twig in the road or something.
We've been in these streets.
Yeah.
Potholes.
There.
And then also, too, there's this thing, and I've seen this. So I live in Chamblee. Chamblee's small version of the Beltline. It's called the Rail Trail. The Atlanta Beltline bans Class 3 e-bikes. That doesn't mean it's always enforced, but it's technically not allowed. If you're going that fast, you see people just popping wheelies and zooming in and out of people that you could do easily enough on a regular manual bike. Now with an e-bike, you could do it without the exertion and, frankly, with less skill. So what happens? More likelihood of injuries, and you're in this tension where you have people on foot, on rollerblade, on skateboard, on regular bike, and mixed in, as you mentioned before, e-scooters. And a lot of people that ride e-scooters and sometimes e-bikes aren't wearing helmets. So you just got a mixture for that. So I just kind of lay out all the different risks. That doesn't mean I'm anti-e-bike. I also want to point out something, because I was Good Editorial has one paragraph that at least addresses the other side. There is a Tesla fan blog, I'll call. It's different people that love Tesla and electric vehicles. And there was a post on there, and this is a great point. This is not an anti-e-bike column. They said e-bikes are a great way to get automobile-like transportation for way less.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not required to have a driver's license to drive a Class 3 e-bike. So you could go 50, 60 miles per hour, weaving in and out of stuff, driving in lanes with other cars.
Interesting. And are there DUI laws surrounding that? I mean, if you've had a few and
I don't want to say for sure, but I'm sure that just a drunken public, queuing up my Ron White voice here, but there would be something that would probably be a coverall for that. So what we urge you to do, the last thing, is if you're going to do an e-bike, first off, parents, lock in. Parents, if you're going to do an e-bike, to be real careful with your kids and using what kind to get. Secondly, go to a bike shop with a professional so they can outfit you with the one that's right for you, and they can assemble it in the shop instead of ordering one on like Temu or something and putting it together in the garage, because one little bolt goes wrong 50 miles an hour. Well,
this is the kind of thing you want to be careful about getting on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, if it's somebody you trust and they've used it just fine, they're just trying to upgrade, that's fine. But look, trust the professionals and be careful. Let your kids start out early, just like they need to drive not a Ferrari when they start driving at 16. Kind of the same with the bicycles.
So bottom line, have the laws caught up with the moment?
No, and I should have mentioned that. The laws have not. That's what John Devine at Go Georgia told me. It's really murky because if you have a Vespa or a motorbike, an electric, those are kind of the same. They're just shaped a little different. You're required to have a driver's license and a VIN number for a Vespa, let's say, but not for a Class 3 e-bike. So the regulations, national or Georgia, whichever, need to catch up.
We're always playing catch up, it seems. But
kind of how it works, right? Usually someone figures out a loophole and then we got to close it, right?
Doug, it's great having you on. Anything else on your mind today?
I don't know. We just need to get 85 open. So
yeah,
well, you've heard enough from me for right now.